Begun. So I'm going to go over this month's RimWorld challenge. Last month I did it more kind of formally, more officially, and I did an edited video, but this month I am not doing that, although I might cut this down a little bit. We'll see. So if you want to know the very specifics of what the entire community challenge event or monthly thing or system is, that video is still up, which is one reason why I'm not going to do a whole new one. So if you go to YouTube, you go to my channel, or you just search for RimWorld Community Challenge, and you see this one, RimWorld Community Challenge March 2023. This is where we started it. And if you go to that one, it explains kind of like the concept and the overall stuff about the challenge and the March one. So today I'm doing two things before we get started. One, I am going over the April challenge, but I'm also going to go through and we're going to check out some of the cool things from the March challenge. And then I'm going to cut that, and then we're going to go play our normal playthrough that we've been doing. And then tomorrow, I'll be actually doing the community challenge myself, 10-hour stream tomorrow, or 10 hours of RimWorld tomorrow, and I'll upload that one as well. So, yeah, if you want the overall specifics, like the big picture, go to YouTube, RimWorld Community Challenge, and click on this one that says March. That's where it started. And you can also watch my previous ones if you really want. But, yeah, that's where you can find all that. So how do you participate? So let me be clear here that this is a challenge, not a competition. And you can do the challenge whether you are brand new to the game, only have you only play on peaceful. You can do it if you do generally do challenge modes or anywhere in between. So you don't have to have any specific kind of experience. You're not competing with anyone other than yourself. It is just a challenge. Also, there are multiple divisions, and again, that's in that video. But one thing I want to go over is if you haven't seen this, and you want to participate, and again, participate doesn't just mean playing in it. You can participate by being involved and just seeing what other people are doing and commenting on it and chatting about it as well. So to do that, you want to go join my Discord if you haven't already. ! Discord in the Twitch chat will get you the link. If you're watching this on YouTube, the link to the Discord is pretty much everywhere. It's in the description. It's in the pinned comment. It's always in those places. But anyway, once you join the Discord, you're going to have this role request channel. If you want to see the RimWorld Community Challenge stuff, you need to react to this by clicking on Randy down here. 545 people are already participating, which is crazy. We actually only thought we were going to get probably a dozen submissions, maybe, and we got over 50, with over 500 people participating in that channel.
Welcome back.
Really, really crazy.
Your steadfast loyalty.
Distant Rebel. Thank you for the 2 months. Thank you, Rebel. So, you come in here, and you click on the little Randy button here, and that will open up the RimWorld Community Challenge channels for you. So it's going to open these up down here. So the challenge channel itself has everything you need to know. It has the rules for the challenge, what the challenge is, the different divisions. We've got like the information specific for April. You got the save files, so you can get the save files, an FAQ section, results from last month. Yeah, everything you could possibly need, and then more probably. If you have any questions, just tag me or Smurf, and we will answer them for you. But it'll open this up, and it'll open up the challenge chat. Now, some people have already started April's because we announced it at the beginning of April. I have been under the weather this week. I haven't streamed very much. I've been in bed most of the week, so I'm behind on getting this out, this information out on video. But some people have already started April. I am blind to the map itself, so I'm not going to look at those. But yeah, that's basically it. Join the Discord. Go into role request. That's basically the only channel you'll have access to when you join. Click on Randy down here at the reaction. It'll give you these channels, and you can see all the rules and information each month. And then you can also go to the chat. And again, even if you're not directly participating, you can still come to the chat and chat about people's experience and marvel at their stuff. So, all right. So that was the first part of this, is letting you know the April one has begun. I'll be doing mine tomorrow, but you can do yours whenever you want. It's 10 total hours, and it doesn't have to be in a single sitting. I'm going to be doing it in a single sitting. Now, one thing that is new for April's is we want to get some people doing cool bases too, like either pretty or cool or awesome bases. And I need to be able to load them without DLC or mods. Again, that information's in here, but we're hoping at the end of April that we'll have some submissions, some save file submissions, and I can do a stream like this for maybe 30 minutes where I open up some really awesome bases and we look at them and we're like, whoa. And maybe in the future we'll have some kind of like voting system and maybe even like a reward for little things like that, But for this month, it's just just a cool thing to do. especially if you're not really wanting to compete even with yourself for higher wealth and stuff like that. Mogar, thank you for the 9 months. Thank you, Mogar. All right, so that's the April information. So now what I'd like to do, if you guys want to join me in here, and I was supposed to do this a week ago, but I'd like to go through and we're going to check out some of the submissions, some of the stories and stuff like that from March. So again, if you want to see the overall results from March, Smurf has that as a document here that you can it's already switched over to March or April, that you can go in, and this has just the results, but there's also one in there that has like clips and videos tagged and stuff like that. So these are some of the submissions. There's 53 of them. Quite a few people did multiple. Like I know Smurf ended up doing this thing like 5 times or something. So anyway, you can check that out if you want. I'm not going to go through all those. All right, let's check it out. All the way back up. All the way back up. So another thing we did is we made this kind of hashtag in here. I guess I could have went just to the pin that you can type in and it'll just take you to each month or whatever. But so yeah, the one from last month also was shared with us from the German community. So again, thank you to the German RimWorld community who is working with us and doing these. We might end up doing our own individual and like sharing back and forth per month. This April map is also a clone of theirs, but it no longer has the German stuff in it. All right, let's take a look. So this is the first attempt that was posted. Sorry, Mage, to single you out. It's going Gib, Tweeny, Hypernova, Greybush, Sonar, welcome in. ATX, Furiath, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Skystorm, welcome in. So this was, it's interesting too, because you can either do it completely blindly or, I mean, it doesn't matter how you do it, right? But you can see other people's results and then try to build off that. So this is one of the first ones. I guess Mage submitted this one. And, I don't know, the Mage has some interesting, like, diagonal walls. Looks like Mage ended up dying. Oh, at the 2-hour mark. Okay, 40,000. Let's see. I'm looking for some of the stories that I remember seeing here. Here's one too. Oh, and I want to be, I also wanted to mention this. I ended up having to ban someone. Hopefully we don't have to do that at this one. But I actually had to ban someone because not only were they being a jerk, but they ended up starting to be racist. So I want to, again, clarify that this is for all experience levels, and it doesn't matter how you build or if you play peaceful or whatever. If you want to do a little village setup like this with separate buildings and walkways and whatever, that is completely fine. However, when this one was posted, someone in there quoted this. I was like, oh, you must be a newbie to the game. That is terrible. And started telling them what was wrong with all this. Unsolicited. And then, slightly down when people were like, hey, maybe you should lay off of that, they started using the N-word and we had to ban them. But anyway, again, this is for all experience levels. Do whatever you want. So this is not a competition. It's very clear that it is a challenge, not competition. So it doesn't matter what your skill level is or experience level. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this either. There's no wrong way to play as long as you're having fun. But just reiterating that. So I like seeing bases that I would never build, you know? I like seeing bases that I would never build. And that's one reason why in April, we're wanting some submissions to be cool bases. So if you're like, man, I don't want to try for high wealth at all, still use the challenges. Enjoy village builds. Yeah, I love seeing them. I love seeing them. So if you want to submit those this month, that would be awesome. Again, same save file, those same parameters. All the information is in that Discord channel. So, but yeah, I like seeing things like this because I would never. Bases look like that at one time. Yeah, and yeah, I wouldn't start like this. It's just not how I generally play, but I like seeing all the different ones. Any challenges aren't about wealth? Yeah, probably. That's kind of like the baseline, but we'll probably do some. Wealth is probably going to be the standard one. And the reason for the wealth is not for the competition's sake of it. The reason for the wealth is to cause challenges and scary moments and stories that normally wouldn't occur if you're playing super safe within 10 hours. Now, if you still want to play on that save file like that and just make the cool base, like this month, we're basically highlighting the cool bases sort of more than we are the wealth. And we're probably going to have some months that are more like that, or some that are just scenario based. We've been talking about having one That's like a mountain base month where the goal is to have a certain number of, or to like produce a certain item. And also, instead of having like normal raids, everything will just be like insects and like termite mechs or something like that. You know, we're working on other ideas, but the baseline is probably gonna be the wealth one. So as you can see, the reason why they posted their time played is because these messages are deleted, but here's where that person was starting to go off on them, telling them they were a newbie. Like, what? Leave them alone. Culty compound builds. That's right. I'm for the cults. All right. Let me see. Let's go to another one. Raid points depends on colony age instead of wealth. Only to an extent. Oh. So here's one, and again, you can use other mods and stuff in the open division. So here's one thing that can happen. So they actually had a caravan just bleed, like a muffalo end up bleeding out and dropping a crap load of wealth. I don't even know what these items are, and most of them. So I'm guessing these are mostly modded, but it's ammo. Does anyone know what mods these are? Like what the missiles and whatever the crap this is? Are those some kind of explosives? I have no idea. Only tortoise raids or something. Combat extended. All right. Let's check this one out. Kill box you made. Okay, so this image here, I don't know if I can really zoom in very much. And it's combat extended. That's another ammo. So this here, you can't really see because it's really dark. This is one of the little buildings that a lot of the people in the German community use, which is kind of interesting. It's almost the same as one of the things I do. You'll notice early on that I'll sometimes make a some cover in the base and make it a little shotgun tunnel. A lot of the German community that do this make this. So they'll have this open. They'll have the fences there to stop, you know, animals that are stopped by fences. And then they'll line up in their base and shoot the first few enemies that come through the door. It's a nice little early game defense. It looks like this person might have been, yeah. German community makes essentially the exact same one. Man, some of these are dark. Some of these are dark. Okay. ArcGeo, thank you for the 19 months. Thank you, ArcGeo. And again, very much appreciate it. Again, in April, I hopefully will be ahead and not sick. I'll be able to do this in more like prepared detail, but if the light does something specific, yeah, I don't know. That's I don't think so, but yeah. In fact, I don't think I would want the light there because lighting up your enemy doesn't do anything, and that's going to get broken quite a bit. So I probably wouldn't put the light there if it was me. And also, you see how it's dark on this side? I put the light like right here, but yeah, it's not a huge deal. Here's fluffy towels. So this is the one that we saw earlier. That was the little village setup. So that was theirs as well. They had the other building here. Yeah. Wood. So in my playthrough, not that it was the right way to do it, but what I ended up doing in my official run, is I didn't even make walls until I could make stone. I rushed to get stone done. So more time to shoot them. I don't know that they're going to attack if they have an uninterrupted path to you when they spawn, they're not going to attack the light, but I don't know. We'll have to try it out sometime. Ouch. So I don't know how far in they were. Let's see. But yeah, lots of participants this time. And it's interesting too that even without seeing the map, a lot of people built in the same general location, and it was not the landing location. Dug into that mountain. Yeah, there is a pretty big hill. I ended up digging into it and using it as a giant freezer. But so this one, there is a geothermal really close to there, and that is actually where the Ancient Danger was, where they built. So they have built in the early Ancient Danger. The Ancient Danger this time, there was two of them, or for March, I should say. There was two Ancient Dangers. One was really easy, that one, and the other one was full of friggin' centipedes. So it's interesting that so many people built in or right around the Ancient Danger. I built down from there at the geothermal for my first attempt, and the second attempt, I just literally built where I landed. So there's an infection they beat by 2%. Man, so for anyone that doesn't know, they changed it. So used to, before 1.4, an infection actually had to tick over to 101% technically. before it got to 100%, before the person would die, but they've changed it. So now it is 100%. So this is even closer than it used to be. That's that same base. They tried ranching some elephants. And again, yeah, people using the Ancient Danger. So this Ancient Danger taken right away and used as a starter base. It's kind of nice because it starts off really pretty. It's already floored, you know? It's already some wealth. Yeah, so there's the landings. The landing's on the other side of that kind of hill from March. And in March, it was rock, paper, scissor, paper. And another interesting one about this is rock and scissors were already in a relation. We're not really in a relationship, but they liked each other a lot when you start. So almost everyone had rock smashing scissors, just like in the game. Anyway, you get the idea. However, in my official one, they hooked up with other people. So I got early colonists, and they hooked up with other people. So it was kind of interesting. Rock smashes scissors. Let's see. Oh, so in March, it was in one of the hottest jungle tiles I'd ever seen. The jungle tile got up to like 140 degrees. We had a heat wave where it got up to 150 Fahrenheit, which is absolutely nuts. This person was trying to ranch chickens, but they all died to heat stroke. Very, very brutal. Air fried chickens. Yeah, they're all just dead. Let's see. I know I'm going kind of fast, but wow, look at that. Double toxic fallout. So with these save files, there are some predetermined events that are scheduled. And one of them for last month, for March, was a toxic fallout every 75 days. But since it was a scheduled one, it overrides cooldown. So toxic fallout actually has a cooldown before it can fire again usually. So Bell got really unlucky and got double toxic fallout. There's a gift from Smurf trying it on hard mode. This month there's no hard mode. There's just normal. It's just normal. And oh yeah, here's where I had to ban that guy, unfortunately. But anyway, there's just a normal mode this month and then a no pause mode. So there's no extra hard one this one. Let's see. Here's someone that finished. So this one's really interesting to me because they only had 8 colonists at the end, and they managed to get almost 100,000 wealth. Again, they settled in the Ancient Danger, and they hollowed out the mountain. So for me, one of the things that I did and to try to get the most wealth was to get as many colonists as possible, because not only do colonists get wealth, but they produce wealth by just doing more work. But getting 90,000 wealth with only 8 colonists is kind of crazy. I want to go fast. But again, you can check all this out as it happens. Wait, what is this? Okay. I didn't see that at all. Okay. All right, next base. This is the second attempt from this Fluffy Towels person. So again, they build in like a village setup, which is completely fine. I don't prefer it. I actually got a comment yesterday on YouTube that's like, man, I really like watching your playthroughs, but God, I wish you weren't just making square buildings all the time. And then I walked around downtown, and I looked at all the square and rectangle buildings, and I said, no, I'm doing it right. Let's see. Oh, I forgot about this. So Fluffy Towels kept posting. They kept having people get beheaded. Their colonists just kept getting beheaded. Just unlucky. Like, they would run into a single scyther, and they would get beheaded. I guess because paper isn't very good against scythers. But sucks for them. First prisoner beat up the second. Broke out and started finding cassowary. See a long future for her. So again, like, trying to get more colonists is hard. So every time a prisoner dies, it's like painful. I had that happen too. So to finally get some prisoners that are almost recruited, have them break down, kill each other, and then go suicide on top of a giant bird is pretty ridiculous. I also really liked looking at this. So again, part of the challenge was trying to get as high wealth as possible. So it was interesting to see what different people chose to do. So like Smurf, for instance, was mainly going after packaged survival meals and raw food. I ended up going for raw food and art as well. So I had, I don't even know, something like that too, like 60,000 corn or something. Oof. Wait, what happened there? We have dozens of animals in the slaughtering berserk. Choose the envelope right next to every other animal. Ouch. I really wish they would make it so if you slaughter a boomalope, they don't explode. Like ranching boomalope right now, the safest way to kill them off is to zone them somewhere where they don't get fed, which is kind of crazy. Mid to live, how's it going? Froster, welcome in. Maybe they should just like milk the chem fuel and then kill them or something. It doesn't explode. But anyway, they had someone kill their boomalope right in the middle of all their other animals. Ouch. Ouch. Then before killing them, they won't explode. I don't know. Did they change that to work? It definitely didn't used to work, because when that like system first came out, we tested just about everything, but it's possible they changed it. Yeah, let me know if you end up testing it and it works that way with like no mods or something. Let me know. That'd be awesome to know. Barns not go nuclear because they caught the plague. Yeah. Man, Fluffy Towels had a lot of bad luck. So another thing is, because you only get the 10 hours of this, it is a lot of it is RNG. That's why it's not a competition, it's a challenge. The only competition is with yourself, because the difference between RNG luck in these can be an extreme amount of wealth. So for instance, in my run, I got kind of unlucky and I managed to get like 265, what I felt was unlucky sometimes. Imagine if I didn't get any of that unlucky bits. We would have had like 5 to 6 more pawns. You know, I could have had like 350,000 wealth. On the flip side of that, you have people like Fluffy Towel, who every time they got to like 6 colonists or something like that, 5 colonists or whatever, they were getting constantly hammered by disease and beheadings and all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's you know, it's against Cassandra, so you're gonna have that schedule, but it's not guaranteed what Cassandra is gonna send. If you have a lot of early raiders, you can get more prisoners. If you have a lot of early animals, you are safer, but you can't get more prisoners. You know, it's the hands of RNG. The only way to prevent boomlopes are starving, killing in a caravan, starving in a transport pod. Yeah, it's the only ones I know of so far too. How's it going, Smurf? So again, this is the open division. So if you usually play with mods, you can still play. Look at the open division. You can still use mods. This person's using some fencing, some barbed wire fencing, or razor fence or something like that. And they have shields. God, it feels like RimWorld should have shields. I know there's mods, but you know, every time you get above a certain wealth level, someone loses their head. the France experience. Yeah, all right. So here's a screenshot that Smurf took during mine. So I was I was playing. I can't use the no pause mod on official. But I was playing without pause, and I was playing on 3x as much as I could, and I was just rushing and concentrating on getting wealth and rushing and rushing and rushing. And then suddenly I realized that my entire colony is in advanced starvation. We have no food. So things like that happen when you're trying to rush. And again, you don't have to rush, but that is part of the fun. That's one thing I like about this monthly challenge, is it's fun for all different levels, because you're trying to push yourself in a little bit of way of whatever you don't usually do. So for me, you know, I'm trying to push myself with wealth, whereas usually I'm really controlling wealth.
Welcome back.
And so things happen. But yeah, I hovered over that. And actually, I meant to go back and check on it, right? And then I remember Smurf in chat was like, Adam, what is that notification on the right? And I check it out, and everyone is starving. Is there a clip? I'm not sure if it got clipped or not, but I was like, oh god. And this was like a long way into the run too. This is like 6 hours in or something. And so there wasn't really time to like restart. Ghost, thank you for the 12 months. Almost a full calendar year. Thank you, Ghost. Very much appreciated. Much love to the Ghost. So again, you can also, if you want, you can record your entire run. You can stream your entire run and post it here. You can post clips of your run, screenshots, whatever. This is not, we're not going to consider it as self-promotion or advertising. It's all about, as long as it's this run, this challenge, share as much of it as you want or as little as you want. But we had over 50 people share their full runs, which is incredible for the first month. I really thought we'd get maybe 10 or 12. So hopefully we get the same or more this time. But yeah, I really hope more people do this. We're going to be doing this every month. Again, my apologies on this kind of unofficial announcement of April's. I was off all week, not feeling well. Man, Fluffy Towels is so unlucky. Fluffy Towels, I don't know if you're participating this Jesus, this month, but God, I hope for better RNG for you. Man, oh man. All right, let's see. 2 hours in, they actually cleared both Ancient Dangers, which is kind of crazy. This second Ancient Danger was full of centipedes. They cleared it with just these 5 colonists, and they're working on a bigger base. Let's see. A person got hit hard right before the challenge ended. So many of these. I want to see some more of these bases. All right, so here's Fluffy Towel's other one that they actually got all the way through. They have a really long base. It's interesting. Their base is actually pretty similar to their first one. And another thing too, and again, it's a fine way to play. This used to be how I did bedrooms a long time ago. Very, very similarly to this. When I was early on to the game though, I'm not saying they don't know what they're doing. This is perfectly fine. But when I didn't know what I was doing early on, I actually had table and chairs in every bedroom. Table and chairs. And people would get disturbed sleep because other people would come in and eat, you know. Out of this month too, hopefully we can pick a day where multiple people can all start at the same time, live, extra fun, silly pressure. Yeah, hopefully. So Fluffy Towels, and that one's 65. Here's another submission. Let's see what they say here. So they ended with 74. So this is one of the stories they posted. A golden retriever soloed a melee raider. Rock died to sleeping sickness or malaria. Stuck with nutrient paste for the rest of the run. Ouch. So Rock was the cook. They never found a cook. Again, RNG, like it happens sometimes. Turned to cannibalism for a bit. That's rough because a lot of people don't remember how hard cannibalism was on you in vanilla RimWorld. Like, there was no ideology to get through it. There was way less mood increases to get through it. So having to go cannibalism with no cannibals is a really huge friggin' mood hit. Man, they had Toxic Fallout, followed by Volcanic Winter. Okay. Back-to-back drop pod raids. So drop pod raids were made more rare back in like 1.3. So having back-to-back drop pod raids is kind of nuts as well. One colonist to go down. Scissors had a masterwork helmet, flak vest. Had a great time. Love the challenge. Nice. They usually do Strive to Survive or Blood and Dust. And they usually play with all DLC and 40 plus mods. So it's pretty cool seeing people do that. The challenge, no DLC? Yeah. But again, check out the challenge information. If you want to do open, division, you can still use them. You can still participate. But the official one is no mods, yeah. But you can still do that. So join the Discord, go to role requests, click on Randy here to open up the RimWorld Community Challenge channels for you. And all of the information and FAQs and everything is in here. Yeah, you can still do mods and DLC if you want in the open division. And that's completely fine. And you can still share that kind of stuff. In fact, Smurf has the result sheet broken down between open division and official. So all right, so let's see what their base. Do we get a good picture of theirs? Looks like they built around that hill as well. It's kind of where I built too. Let's see. Yeah, there's that Ancient Danger. Look, they tried to open it right at the end. 3 centipedes in an Ancient Danger is actually quite a bit. Love doing the challenges. Yeah, they're it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun. So that exclamation run is not this though. All right. Here is one of Smurf's attempts, 180k. How many runs did you end up doing in March, Smurf? Total, including on this map. Did you end up doing like 5 or 6? 5 or 6. Wow, you went pemmican and kibble heavy that time. 45% tribal, max tech, both failed. Smurf with his wooden base on fire. Did 3, 1 blind, 1 as a guide, and 1 after some genius in chat suggested awesome strategies. All right. So Eversor, I think, did a couple as well. In my first attempt, I also tried to get all the way to assault rifles, and I ended up nixing that for the second one. You just don't have enough time. Looks like Eversor was doing that and ended up falling as well. He had a standard kill box. This is pretty similar to where I built. I built a little bit north from here, but 102,000. They were in good shape. Let's see. In the last 10 minutes, 2 mech raids, 10 centipedes, and 27 scythers. So Eversor was farming elephants, 40 plus. You might try and cable violence run. Yeah, we'll be continuing that. This is not that, but I'll be continuing that after we go over this. Yeah, luck is a huge factor in so much of this. Jenna, welcome back. Thank you for the 6 months, Jenna.
Appreciated.
42K there. Casual player, it's good beginning. Oh yeah, absolutely. So again, like it's not a competition. Like this is only the second time the person's ever tried losing is fun, and they finished it. So that is awesome. All right, let me skip down here. One way to pick up the ladies. Wait, what happened? Rock tried to woo Scissor by cheerfully making fun of her facial hair. Scissor responded well and is now Rock's lover. So the one that I had happen that I always find the funniest is when someone I had one recently where someone complimented the other person's genitals and it said they became aroused and became lovers. It was like, wow. All right, well, I guess that's one way to try. So, take notes, gentlemen. All right. Let's see. We're calling honesty prisoners. That'd be great. Oh, so this is 2 hours in. So, kind of a split barracks. Looks like they're making individual rooms. Got a little kill tunnel there. That's how I used to make trap tunnels. I don't like doing that way anymore, but it still works. Let's see. Mods, this is true. Okay. Eversor doing some more there. Again, going for assault rifles, which is not a bad way to do it. All right, Tracy, still pretty noobish to RimWorld. Usually play on much lower difficulty. They survived for the whole 10 hours. Yay! Good job, Tracy. There was a time when they had 2 out of 4 people down, ready to just let the others go down. Somehow Rock got the last hit on a raider and downed him. Then the other 2 raiders that were left decided to flee. After that, I built up a little bit more defense and didn't have much issue with raiding again. The biggest issue I had was my recruit Sam, because she was in love with Rock after their quality time spent sleep schedule. Talking in prison together. Trying to recruit her. Rock married Paper. Whoa, they're Rock married Paper instead of smashing Scissors. Stockholm Syndrome. Pretty much from the get-go, and he was very loyal to Sam, just misread the situation. Sam was always just in bad mood from constantly getting rejected. Eventually put her on a different sleep schedule, so she didn't see Rock as much, and it helped. Ready for this? That's pretty awesome. That's interesting. Did anyone else that played this have Rock hook up with Paper? Because actually Rock was already really friendly with Scissors, and Paper wasn't really that friendly with him. Having difficulties in trying to overcome, or your favorite stories of this? Yeah, it's awesome. This person usually plays on like the lowest difficulties, and yet they survive for 10 hours on losing is fun. And they had a bit of wealth. They have like 50,000 wealth. They probably saw bigger raids than they've ever played against, you know? So. Capital Strike versus Mechs on the open run. Let's see what this is. Oh god. These friggin' moments. I know these ones. This is on an open run. So he's using Combat Extended, I believe those are. Isn't this really dangerous with Combat Extended? Like, I haven't played it, but I've heard that like mechs are no friggin' joke on it. Can kill you very, very, very quickly. Or do you just kill them just as fast too, so it doesn't really matter? Oh my god, using pause. Oh, stun ammo. Never mind. Rock basically hit on every female on your first try. Yeah, I've never played with the Combat Extended. That's crazy. Let's go on. Leo, welcome in. All right, so player got 115 on this one. After the crash, we established a small base and planted some rice just to wait. The help will surely come soon, I said. A few days later, around 1.5 hours into the run, we knew it was not that simple. We bought 2 Archotech Lances from a local vendor, and using them, cleared 2 ancient facilities. It was terrible. What? the thing we had to do, but we managed to save 2 people. Me and Scott were happy to stay with us and help. Plan for phase 2 was stabilization. We managed to get a good supply of rice and tame new elephants. 6 adult elephants, 1 calf. Disaster struck. 5-hour mark. The sky became black with dirty, unnatural clouds. We knew volcanic winter started a day later. Toxic fumes and acidic rain fell upon us. Kill all the crops and everyone outside dizzy and nauseous. Little did we know we would not see the sun for the next 30 long, grim days. Man, that is rough. That was textbook. Comics and mech takedown. Is that one in here? The graph? Yeah, I'll get to that one too. That's pretty cool that they wrote this almost like a little story. I like that. And again, bad luck, right? I didn't have 30 days without sun. In fact, my toxic fallout, my longest one was like 7 days. It's in there. Our power grid, consisting of 1 geothermal generator, wasn't prepared to keep up artificial lamps for crops that could feed 5 people and 7 elephants. It broke my heart when I had to tell Paper that she was to slaughter 5 animals of her own herd, the ones that she took such care of the last 2 quadrums. Ouch. Get back on our feet. After that, we needed to act fast. We acquired more psychic shock lances. So this is what Smurf was talking about. Psychic shock lances are a great way to guarantee you get more prisoners, even when the population intent is not in your favor, right? So buying as many psychic shock lances, it's one of the few things that's actually going to end up giving you more wealth than what it costs to get them. Recruited everyone we could get our hands on. Raiders came to our door every few days, each time with more vicious attacks. Many times we held on by a thread. Eyes gouged, limbs shot off, elephants bleeding out of a dozen bullet wounds, but we slaughtered everyone. Numerous tribals, well-trained pirates, and mindless machines. Kill them all, I said so many times. Sometimes I still hear the battle. I didn't recognize myself any other colonists by then. The gun and sword became so light in their hands, it became normal to see scissors slicing 2 men in half with 1 swing of her sharp thrumbo horn. That's pretty interesting. It became normal to murder. I've abandoned all morals and started a huge-scale drug production operation to finance our gear and defenses. Our product is very profitable. I know it's wrong. I know it will do a lot of evil, but it's necessary. Now, after 10 long hours, our colony stands 11 warriors strong, and I know we can hold on 100 hours more. We will not hesitate to do anything, right or wrong, to escape this cursed, terrible RimWorld. A forsaken colony leader, Rock. That's really awesome. So they wrote it from the standpoint of Rock. I like that. Thank you, Emerald. Thank you for participating, and thank you for writing this up. That is, that's really awesome. 115,000 wealth. There's his 11 colonists. That's very similar to where I built my base. Almost identical. I think a lot of people did. Oh, they got a time lapse. Can I zoom in on this? Let me some RimWorld time lapses. That's awesome.
Welcome back.
Pretentious, thank you for the 21 months. Thank you, Pretentious. Happy Saturday. Always like watching these. Man, it looks like 10 hours in just a few seconds. It's crazy. All right. Bean, 119,000. Let's see what Bean had to say. Yeah, almost 2 entire calendar years already. Early on, Rock and Scissors became lovers when Rock made fun of her facial hair. They were engaged, but Rock had an affair shortly after with Paper. Rock never liked Paper in mine. You love the screen flashing green with the toxic fallout? Yeah. Who eventually got married and stayed married. Oh, wow. So Rock and Scissors broke up. Rock then married Paper. This betrayal made Scissors succumb to an ambrosia binge, which got her addicted. She eventually lost this addiction when the ambrosia supply ran out. The source of ambrosia and all of the cash crops were destroyed in the great flash lightning fire of Juggis III. The first prisoner who was convinced to join the colony was a jogger named Combra, who was left with only 1 leg from injuries sustained when he originally attempted to raid the colony. He was given a peg leg and eventually prosthesis, so his jogging prowess was never fully realized. He also lost a hand to a scyther attack, which also killed the OG pet dog. My dog ended up surviving to the end both times. 7 or 15, you did, I remember. Once the outer wall was erected, the colony was able to ranch some alpacas who had escaped shelter and accept shelter in a quickly erected barn for the first of 2 toxic fallouts. Food supplies were grim, so a volunteer was sent to pick up supplies from a neighboring town, but the fallout ended while they were gone. So they had a short fallout as well. Kill boxes set up, and most of the rest of the raids afterwards weren't very threatening. Both ancient dangers were cleared. First was no problem. The second had 3 centipedes. That's what I mentioned. So you had to really plan to deal with that. An infestation happened while they were trying to plan for it. Insects were quickly dispatched. The insects beat the mechs. Pictured along with the wealth is a caravan. The colony ambushed the caravan in a greedy attempt to maximize wealth by the end. I did that exact same thing literally on the last like 10 minutes. Injuries sustained in the combat with the tribals made fending off the Scyther ambush impossible, and the colony was wiped out by the machines with 5 minutes remaining. Ouch. That's rough. That's rough. They were at 119 and they were wiped. Ouch. Yeah. They saw 124,000 during that. That's pretty awesome. All right. Yeah, thank you as well, Bean, for participating and sharing the story. Just a few more, and we'll wrap this up and get back to our playthrough. But this is really awesome. You don't have to go in as much detail if you want. That is awesome. I will read them on the next recap, on April's recap. But you can just post your screenshot as you see. Some people have just done that, or just whatever you want. You know, share as little or as much as you want. It's really about just having a community built around the challenge and experiencing the same save file together, which I really like that in games in general. In fact, when I'm playing Total War Warhammer, a lot of times at the beginning of a new series, I'll say, start up this same campaign and let me know how yours ends up differing from mine. It's one of my, I don't know why, that's just one of my favorite things. Even like bosses. One reason I like playing games like From Software games blindly is I like to see what other people struggle with in comparison, and it always varies so much. Can't wait for the new DLC. Yeah. I wonder, I don't know what it's going to be, but it should be later this year, actually. All right, so Alligator Lizard. My goal for the challenge was to survive losing is fun and to pause as little as possible. It's very difficult for them. We had a pretty good start moving into the central ancient danger. A lot of people did that. Stockpiling food and working on research in geothermal. We had mostly animal insanity and later mechs. Very few human raids. By the time I were about 8 hours in, we did have 8 colonists, though. And none of the raids had been devastating despite our rather poor weapons. Unfortunately, in the middle of a dark and rainy night, a siege suddenly appeared far down in the southwest corner of the map. Ouch. If I'd stopped to think, I might have recalled that we had an animal pulsar and a map full of rhinos and elephants, perfect for the situation. Instead, due to not pausing, I sent 7 colonists who were capable of fighting down to drive off the invaders. Mistake number 1. I left the second doctor rather, who was incapable of violence, up at the base. Mistake number 2. We tried to goad the siegers into attacking the base, but got swarmed. By the time they fled, 1 colonist was dead and 3 more were down and bleeding out. Of the 3 remaining, 1 was incapable of doctoring. Scissors started tending to paper, and I called the other doctor down from the base. But it was too late. Rock and the other 2 down pawns both died. Oh, that sucks. Not Rock. I really tried to make sure nothing happened to Rock, Paper, or Scissors. I wanted them and the dogs to survive. Scissor promptly had a mental break since she and Rock had been engaged. The non-violent pawn had a mental break and turned slaughterer. I really don't think non-violent pawns should be able to get slaughtered, but first killing an alpaca, which was fine, but then trying to kill the dog, so you had to arrest them. Many false starts and mental breaks later, finally got the remaining 4 pawns back to the base. Eventually got the 4 who had died buried and pulled things back together, but at that point, only had about an hour left of playtime. Rough. The dog survived both times for me, both in the official and the open. But like I said, it's very RNG, especially with something like that. I actually ended up zoning the dog to just stay inside. Got RimWorld a week ago and you have 70 hours. Nice. Welcome to the addiction. Rock killed the dog on yours twice. Ouch. Ouch. So for anyone that's wondering what we're doing, we're going over March's monthly challenge and introducing April's monthly challenge. And then I'm going to switch over and actually play. We are almost caught up. But yeah, if you would like to participate in the monthly challenge, join the Discord, !Discord, and then click on role requests. And then right here, RimWorld Community Challenge, you just click on Randy, and it'll open these up. It has all the challenge information, the place to chat. Even if you don't want to participate and do the challenge, you can still join and chat about it and read the stories and look at the screenshots and all that good stuff. All right, Mercedes. Attempt number 1 ended in a surprise mech breach raid that we're utterly unprepared for. So again, RNG, you know, if that had been a manhunter, they probably had no problem because they have outer walls, it looks like. People were down in a matter of minutes and releasing the elephants that I had trained only delayed the inevitable. The colony faced several stumbling blocks right at the get-go. Didn't plant enough rice to keep us going. We were on the verge of starvation for several seasons, coupled with at least 3 pawns incapable of dumb labor. Ouch. An overly ambitious first building plan and Scissor having multiple breakdowns in a row took a long time to stabilize. We just started upgrading from bows and Pila in hour 7 because you weren't brave enough to mug any passing strangers or open the ancient dangers. Stars of the late game were Matt and Moose, who were so skilled in crafting, construction, and art that we're finally able to start accumulating some real wealth for just a little while. Wow. I killed the dog. That's true. At the end of the official run, I accidentally killed the dog. Yeah, myself. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that to get extra wealth. Yeah. Mercedes fun. Yeah. And again, Mercedes, thank you for sharing. Thank you for participating in this. I hope to see all these people participating in April as well. That's awesome. Let's see. So we got some shared here. Rock has been shot to death. Ouch. Sky has been shot to death. So they're like, that's enough for me for tonight. So, last killing a dog? No. I just forgot all about it. Why is Rock? Of course you would forget. How's it going, R-Squared? Why is Rock the most cursed colonist in these runs? Poor Rock. Was Rock was the one that was incapable of dumb labor, right? He could cook, but he was incapable of dumb labor. I think I'm remembering right. It's been a while since I did mine. Let's see. Anima did an open division one. He was, yeah. This is using a bunch of mods, including combat mods. Started off with 3 serious heat strokes. Rock went catatonic shortly after. Great start. Rock and paper became a couple really quick. That's so interesting. Like, I kept having Rock and Scissors hook up every single time. And most of the people I actually went and like saw them playing, same thing every single time. So it seems like a fair number of people, though, actually had Rock and paper hookup, which is surprising to me. Because Rock and Scissors had such a connection starting out. Because paper covers Rock? Yeah, but... Rock... I'm not going to do it again. But I'll do it. But Rock smashes Scissors, R-Squared. Rock smashes Scissors. Rock and paper became a couple quickly. Married soon after, but an affair toward the end of the run. You had 2 other couples get married, about 100 social fights. Harvested a few organs off a loyal captive, but in case we needed them down the road or to sell, let's going to learn about organ murder, which is a thing apparently. I got my research up pretty quickly to the prize. USAS 12 shotgun. Chain shotgun, but with EMP rounds. Okay. So that's the combat extended stuff. I didn't have a crafter.
Welcome back.
That's when the wild woman Samantha wandered in. 8 double burning crafting skill. Failed several times, eventually wanted revenge. I managed to down her, patch up her wounds, and she joined from then and just grabbed every raider you could reasonably save. Friendly fire is a much bigger thing in combat extended. Somebody lost an ear to a shotgun blast. Ugh, imagine that. Right at the very end, had toxic fallout in a large travel raid. Harvesting alone jumped the wealth up to about 230. Nice. The mech ship crashed down 5 seconds after you took off the previous one. Stories of someone's first organ murder. Yeah, what? I'm surprised you didn't know about it. Well, I mean, you know, that really shows how brutal I've been in RimWorld. Where I'm like, what? How do you not know about organ murder? Is that one of the first things you end up accidentally learning? No, Adam, no, not for most people. Ganymede, thank you for the 2 months. Thank you, Ganymede. Much appreciated. Tribal raid versus mech ship. All right, let's check this out. It should update the quality in just a sec. Wholesome stories. So this is with using, so this is the open division. So like I said, he used combat extended. So I have no idea what some of the things are I'm seeing. So what are the black shells the mechs are using from combat extended? Looks like those are some kind of just flame. Wait. The pikemen are using those? So it changes pikemen's bullets or something? Could be a different mod. I don't know. That's kind of crazy. Wow. Like in a normal run, I think those tribals win. Yeah, some kind of weird incendiary rounds, but it's on the pikeman. Challenge with a couple of very OP mods to see how it turns out. So Fluffy Towel's doing a lot of runs. Rock doesn't even have a face. That mod you don't want to use? Yeah, that looks rough. That looks rough. Let's see. Dita doing the hard open no pause. First siege got them. For some reason, Discord's not wanting to load as well. They died at the first siege. Let's see. Mochi, 91k on official. Died at 6-hour mark to a siege. So 91,000 wealth at the 6-hour mark. Pretty good. Corn, lots of corn. I've read that corn is quite efficient for wealth per work, so I decided my entire colony, or dedicated my entire colony to planting corn. Unfortunately, I did not account for the logistical issues of storing and hauling vast amounts of corn. Yes, I ran into that, and I ended up hauling out the whole friggin' mountain or hill or whatever to store corn. I felt like I was starting to go mad as I spent nearly the last 4 hours just dealing with corn. For defense, everyone except Scissors used chain shotguns. Scissors would tie them up in combat, while 5 people would point blank blast the enemy one by one. So, very typical kind of shotgun box, shotgun tunnel type setup, which I really like, as you guys probably know. Unfortunately, in my greed to grow as much as possible, and with the corn taking a toll on my sanity, I failed to account for sieges and promptly died to the first siege that came. Rock was also the first to die. It turns out chain shotguns are terrible in open field. They ended almost 40,000 corn at hour 6. 38,000 corn in 6 hours. That's crazy. Crazy. 38k. That's a lot of friggin' corn. There's Eversworth taking out the first Ancient Danger. I think that's the first one. All right. Let's see here. So someone from the German community fell to 3 colonists halfway through, but they still managed to end up with 143,000. That's kind of crazy. That's really crazy. To go from 3 colonists and nothing to 5 hours later being at 143 is really crazy. Corn hub. Man, lots of people losing body parts. After yesterday's struggle, 2 deaths, including Rock as your only cook, the colony managed to pull together. Ian, the too smart gay nudist, 19-year-old, stepped up and learned cooking and only gave 3 people food poisoning over a few hours. Had a rough hill to climb, though. Paper still in the denial stage of grieving, tried to have dinner with her husband and rival due to cheating. Rock cheating on a lot of people in your guys' playthroughs. Robot and the mistress returned the favor by digging up Paper's friend Sky. A minor incident with some travelers letting in dozens of squirrels was not enough to stop from rebuilding, reaching 90,000 wealth around the 9-hour mark. Final caravan trip they thought would secure the necessary items past 100,000. Callie, a former hypno cult leader, and colony smooth talker, set out with a few dromedaries. Perhaps the colonists should have remembered what happened last time. Callie left the base when Rock and Sky fell to the mech breach. No matter, they thought we had an animal pulsar and a map full of elephants. Anything go wrong? Optimism was in the air. Also, toxic fallout was in the air. Then the pirate siege arrived. All began well. The colonists knew what they were up against, quickly locking the doors and confining themselves. Their elephant pack inside the base. Paper activated the animal pulsar. Immediately, something was wrong. The pack of maddened, manhunting elephants, turtles, panthers, and alpacas swarmed the base, ignoring the defenseless pirate siege. The shells began to impact. So I can tell you what happened there. Just in case this ever happens to you and you want to prevent it. How's it going, Too Fat Crew? Eversor, welcome in. We're just going through March's challenge results. There's been a lot of fun stuff, and then we'll play after this. So for anyone that doesn't know, for whatever reason, manhunting animals can see you through doors. So if you're going to use an animal pulsar, the best thing to do is put your pawns somewhere that you can actually build a wall in front of any doors that are around your pawns. So maybe you have a safe room, maybe it's the kitchen or whatever, and you just build walls on those doors, you put them in there, and then you use the pulsar, and then the animals will go out against the raiders or mech cluster, whatever, and then you can just deconstruct the doors after they go after them. So Himza didn't do that or didn't know about that, and so they got in a situation where the entire jungle was now attacking them that they were trying to use for defense, and they were getting sieged at the same time. So they accidentally really screwed themselves over. The first were incendiary, but explosives followed. Once the walls were opened, it was all but over. Rat and Paper lay immobile together Parthia and Scissor Paw are passed. A trade caravan was enough to stop the shells, but the damage was already done. Over the course of the next few days, the colony fell apart. Mental break, bleeding out, literally and figuratively. In the end, only Ian and Callie survived. They had a pretty big base going too, and they had a lot of animals, a lot of animal wealth. Oof. But yeah, if you want to use the animal pulsar as a trick like that, you got to block the doors, or the animals will just go swarm outside the doors. So it's good information to know. I didn't always know it for sure. Ouch! Look at that wealth drop. Right. Let's see here. Lasios. This is an official one. 130k. Learned some hard lessons from your first attempt, and this second one went well, like suspiciously well. He had 3 defoliator ships, though happily none actually landed on them. So many beavers along with the required toxic fallouts, but on a jungle map, these were annoying more than backbreaking. Could take your time dealing with them, and the safety and the comfort of everyone's build next to the geothermal base. I owe this run's charmed existence to Zhang, a 17-year-old mute who was a random join event on like day 5. Would have been excited to get her at any point, but this early on with those skills, she was like clutch for everything. Eventually got a better crafter from a downtown raid, and she could go back to doing what she loved most, tending and training the 14 attack elephants. Wow. Who soaked all the damage from anything that couldn't be blown up by mortars first. All off-map trips were to pick up necessities for the mortars. Their constant work out meant that making barrels needed to be replaced. Let's see. Part of me wants to continue this run to see if you can get Zing to the crappy planet. That's kind of interesting. So after the 10 hours, they were attached to one of the characters so much that they want to finish the run, which is fine too. Fun run. Randy loses fun. Sukin does not fail. Heidi ho, neighborinos. I haven't heard that in a long time. Night Spark 117. Last 5 minutes had extreme ship psychic drone talks file explosive raid. After the raid, they took the ship. So happy-ish and alive. Only ever played on adventure story. Losing is fun. Didn't seem that hard until I died. All right, let's see. There's another Eversor one. Hard official this time. Loathe toxic fallouts. Slow start to this run. Had a decent wander join the first few days. She died from a heart attack. Ouch. 3 days later. Struggled early getting more pawns. Yeah, that's the biggest thing with these. I was maybe a little picky at first, but cast felt sleepy. 11 raids. Yeah, that's how mine felt too. She kept sending manhunters instead of raids, which is really annoying. 11 raids over 10 hours. 5 of those were in the first 5 hours. In dire need of a crafter and convinced a great pawn from visiting faction to join. Convinced. Almost had a repeat of Sam toward the end. During a psychic drone Scorpion, the crafter decided to destroy the mortar. Ouch. Able to stop them just in time. McKay, another gourmand. One of the starting pawns was a gourmand last month in March. Great cook and artist. Got struck by lightning while visiting a grave. Those people that got into it played it so many times. Yeah, there's a lot of people that submitted, like, 5+ attempts. Base colonists. Let me check out the colony. Very similar. And some individual prisoner bedrooms. Look at you. How lavish. How lavish. Bell doing another one. Normal official. Attempt 4. And they were going to play this one without rushing. You do like 4 runs as well. After an attack on an enemy camp, you captured a girl and was already harvested her to death. But then you looked at her age. Something inside you refused to execute a 16-year-old girl. Took her back home. And 2 years after, she married one from your attack squad. She also has a decent builder minor. I think she has Stockholm Syndrome. This is the story of Rock, Dawn, Juan, Paper, and Scissor. At the beginning of Rock flirt with Scissors, and once he seduced her, he immediately cheated on her with Paper. Thanks to the biphasic schedule, the colony managed to progress without breaks. We crossed the road of a slaver, and we bought Owl, our botanist. Allow us to have a lot of rice and tame Luxembourg, our marvelous crafter. Later, Owl became a psychite addict because of extreme psi ship that we could not destroy. And then he was killed by a panther just after. It's so funny that it's just like so very like plainly stated. Yeah, and he just died by a panther, and then you just continue on. We managed to quickly put him in the freezer in the sarcophagus once the first ship was destroyed. A second one landed right after. With tea, love, and biphasic, we survived until powerful enough to go destroy it. By taming elephants, traps, prisoners, we managed to grow with only one dead colonist. Both shot to the heart. Breach, raid, and sleeping sickness killed Angus, the husband of Scissors. Rock cheated on paper with every girl in the entire colony. Did your own challenge? 2 hours before the end mission, offer me 2 res serums for only 1100. That's one thing I noticed too, that in vanilla, when I was doing this, the rewards requests were so much better. So much better. Well, I mean, we're literally going over the monthly community challenge right now, so. All right. Let's see. Not looking good right now. I guess we'll see how it plays out. 3 hours in, 20k. And rough time. Rock dead in a lot of these. Casually dies from Panther. Refuses to elaborate. Leaves. All right. Truth Wizard. Very difficult. Paper lost her mind after Rock fell for Scissors. The only pawns available were 2 wild men, and Paper was the only one with animal handling, while Rock and Scissors fought against starvation. He had Paper training animal handling between her psychotic episodes. With that problem dealt with, you had Rock take all the silver and go to a nearby settlement to buy some extra food and penoxycyllin. I never ended up getting penoxycyllin in mine. Penoxycyllin saved you from disease immediately after. It would have finally stabilized. Way harder than you imagined it would be. You think you did okay for the first time playing, though. They're set up in that little mountain groove. Mountain groove. Is that like Mountain Dew? Yes. Just had my first loss. Was itching for more colonists, so they thought you'd free a prisoner. Bad move. Getting there went fine, but wasn't paying attention when Paper blew up a turret, lost her leg, died immediately. Ouch. Tried to grab the guard to recruit. You got back. Prisoner died of heat stroke on the way. Got back to your colony, and prisoner immediately attacked the colonists, which resulted in them killing him. Only a recruited colonist, Mo, then went bad with grief about Paper's death and murdered Rock, who was catatonic over Paper's death. Sisters killed Mo, decided this probably wasn't the run, and ended up restarting. Ouch. Challenge where you can save your city from traffic. Anyone done a RimWorld style? Where can you save me? People saves do that. Done a few. Oh yeah, like save my save. Yeah, I've been wanting to do more of those too, but just haven't had time to set them up. But yeah, I don't know the traffic thing. So what exactly is that one? All right. Maria. 91k in 10 hours, 2 toxic fallouts, 2 marriages, 1 cheating husband. Man, guys, so many people had Rock cheating. I'm guessing it's Rock. She hasn't even said, but I'm guessing it's Rock. So many mechanoid raids later, everything started well. Paper got herself a handsome undergrounder lover called Kanan, but he cheated on her with Scissors. Some people's rural bases, which led to so much drama and many social fights between Paper and Kanan, whichever one, married his mistress Scissor. Later, Paper found her happiness with Tassero, but her emotional wounds ran deep, and she kept hating and fighting Kanan every moment she could. 103,000 wealth by around 9 hours. Everything seemed like it was, you were unbeatable. Cassandra, way more mysterious than that. 9.5 hours into the run, she sent a raid that would change everything. Centipedes with inferno cannons ran at us, destroyed every single shelf and production equipment that we had, killed 3 people, including Scissor's husband, and left carnage behind. 10 hours dealing with multiple psychiatric episodes. Finished the run at 91k. Fun run, definitely challenge. Don't usually play on losing is fun. Totally destroyed early on. Great to know you can still play a challenging level. Man, oh man, there were so many relationship things. So many. 3 volunteer walls, make it 1 big room, probably. Yeah, and open you can do pretty much whatever you want. Yep. All right. Wayland's actually streamed theirs and put them on YouTube. I actually checked that out. Let's see. We're almost through here. 5th or 6th attempt at the challenge. It was a doozy. Highlights include Paper having a mental break while in combat with mechs and unintentionally kiting all the enemies so the rest of your colonists could flank and win the raid. It's interesting when that works out. I just had that happen in one of the edited runs, the edited Incapable Violence run. We had Savage Panda and a breakdown actually door kiting raids. So resetting raids while they were in a breakdown, which is pretty awesome. Crashes of relatives. One of them was Scissors' mother, who was an assassin with dementia. An assassin with dementia. And the other was the fiance of one of the random colonists. Said colonists getting married in the middle of a toxic fallout that hit the game the last hour of play, preventing you from getting one last wealth bump. Drugs. Had a lot of great luck with pawns getting... we're getting pawns that allow for paper to focus on art creation. Not until the last couple of hours. Mostly with official rules. Okay. Man, you guys treating your prisoners lavishly. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, but you can read all the rules in the FAQ thing. It should all be there. Mercedes doing another one. Look at that. Had so much trouble getting people this time. Never had more than 7 colonists at any given time. Stable for food this attempt, but weapons were once again an issue. Hour 6 saw the beginning of the elephant attack squad, but that was also when you had the caravan disaster. Cost you one of your prize colonists, 4 animals, and about 10,000 in wealth. Ouch. Beginning of a spiral of problems from 2 mech raids and 2 psychic ships to disease left and right. Hour 9 saw this arrival of the defoliator off to the right, which decided to ignore since an hour wasn't enough time for new crops to grow anyway. Your animals were hit with repeating rounds of the flu. I know what that was. The sleeping sickness laid out 3 of the 6 colonists. Ugh. Rock, paper, and scissors were the only ones that didn't get hit by that. Without the help, a messy kitchen led to food poisoning. Just as you hit 955, a siege in the top left started firing. Pre-siege, it was at 86,000 wealth, but lost some during. Assassin with dementia. You got the target? What? Who was the target? All right, let's see. First burn box ever built. Eversor. Oh, yeah, so you did the burn box to get more prisoner thing. Yeah, I ended up doing that too. It was very helpful. Very helpful. Mochi back again. 222 in the official. Nice. Second tree switched over to flake production due to the logistical issues of handling so much corn. For wealth production, I dedicated my colony to flake and sold some to traders. The silver was used to create statues, which are buildings, and considered half the wealth for raid points, if they recall correctly. As you can see in the photo, most of the field is dedicated to psychoid plants. By the end, it amassed 5,000 flake and several silver statues. Tried to use a burn box and add some colonists, but unfortunately no human raids ever came through it. Time they built it. Yeah, that happens. I only ended up with like 1 or 2. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like seeing the different ways that people went about getting wealth. And it's interesting comparing their previous one where they went corn heavy to drug heavy and which one ended up pulling ahead. Oh, those wealth drops. Second attempt for the official challenge. Not much better than the previous 66k. Rock hilariously died this run due to 2 different pawns going into murderous rage against him back to back. Wow. Wealth was the goal. I thought surviving was. Surviving with as much wealth as possible, yeah, is the goal. Scissors that finished him off. Scissors killed Rock. Wow. How does Scissors beat Rock? Yeah, there's some more of Whelan's. So. The goal was murdering Huntsman. I had forgotten, Smurf, that in my early days of the Incapable Violence Challenge, Huntsman was actually an auto join that we used as a mule and let him die out on the road afterwards. We let him starve to death. Like purposefully. I didn't even realize that was him. I renamed him Hunt's Mule and then I sent him off and he starved on the road on purpose. The channel that, whoops. Second attempt. Happy managed to reach 40k. They all went crazy. Last run for them. They made it to 10 hours, sort of. 15 minutes left. Pop up with the Ancient Danger and add to your wealth. Did not go well. But a merchant came. They didn't help much. Then an infestation spawned, keeping the mechs and bugs busy with each other for a while. The Man in Black was able to swoop in. Well, Man in Black at the very end. Ouch. Kind of cool that they had the their kill tunnel facing that. You check the VODs, get a picture. Yeah, it's in the edited runs. Yeah. It's for that folder. Everybody kill a Huntsman as well. Fat crew. Thank you. Enjoy your day. Be safe. Ever played Losing is Fun? Think it okay? I'm pretty sure this is the end. They almost made it to 10 hours. Man, they only had 3 pawns left. That's brutal. Brutal. But again, you like sometimes you just don't get lucky. Sometimes you get straight up unlucky. Rock, paper, scissors, and the jawless dog. Yeah, it's rough, buddy. It's rough. Play. Oh yeah, I'm not saying anything against you. It's just it's really rough. Sometimes you just get really unlucky with not getting a lot of new pawns. Like in my second run early on, I just got join events. I got like 3 join events. So like the difference in just being handed more people to help defend right off the bat and then not in itself is like such a luck swing. You want to go back to adventure now? No. I think I like seeing all these. Yeah, like I said, that's part of the fun. It would be a lot more boring if every one of these was just like my square base with around the same wealth, doing it all the same way. You know, I think it would be anyway. Being at again, mission 2. Rate notification on the wealth screen, 9.5 hours. Pirate Breacher, never seen that level of wealth again. Okay. Try to get in again. Yeah, I'm glad you did. I'm glad. Thank you for participating so much. Man, look at all that meats. All that meats. Look how dirty the cooking. I think actually you would have to worry less about cleanliness in the cooking area by just not having that there. I see some sterile tile though. Fair Recruit Smash decided he was going to chug some go juice, visit a defoliator ship. Ouch. Let's see, another one from Alligator. Second completed attempts. Some ways it was much smoother, while in other ways it was worse. Focus much more on defense this time, getting your walls up, better weapons and armor, and a mortars and shells equipped. Third one's a bit longer, so your efforts to pause were somewhat successful. There were no devastating raids and no deaths. However, I never got above 6 colonists. Yeah, see, it can be really rough. Like, some runs you only get a few colonists. Other ones you could get like 15. I think one of mine ended with like 15. Other prisoners died to infection or from being suppressed during prison breaks. No good crafters or artists. Ouch. No taming above 6. No elephants. That's really rough. So, didn't get many colonists, and the ones they got were just not good at producing wealth. So, a run in from lab going berserk when Paper died from injuries. Killed the remaining 3 colonists. That's crazy. What's the starting dog's name again? I forget. It started with a name though. Start. Second attempt from Bunny. Do it all faster and get more stuff done. Just getting more colonists is a big part of it. Played slower, more carefully though. It ended up higher because you know, things weren't on fire. Chio, thank you. Finished the second completed attempt. 141 days, 208k wealth. Nice. Nice. In that same little area. I haven't even looked at the new map for April. Baby stepping the wealth push in this one. Oh, third attempt. Gotcha. So this one was on the Ancient Danger side. Did you end up liking the Ancient Danger? A lot of people use that. I ended up not using it as a room. A lot of people did. I think a lot of people liked this one. Dog's always getting slaughtered every time you try. Someone shanks him. It's brutal. Wayland's committed his second one. For the second time, Rock and Paper started together, only for Rock to end up smashing Scissors. Then those two broke up. Turns out Paper got with someone else in the colony, misassigned the beds, had Paper and Scissors in the wrong beds for quadrums. Rock fulfilled his destiny and sold lots of rock. Also had an artist going 24/7, pumping out art from pretty early on. Dust protection up last 3 or 4 hours. Never made it past bolt action and never really needed it. That's what I ended up doing too. Smurf as well. Trap tunnel and good kiting areas were enough. Could do better, especially as Cassandra's 6-day toxic fallout also hit us twice in the last hour. Let's go on Zeppelin. Well, that's so hard, that chaos. It's so crazy that he had them in the wrong beds. So he's like, why is Rock cheating so much? Oh, I've been forcing him to sleep with other women for almost a full year. Rock's like, man, I don't want to cheat, but geez, he keeps forcing me to sleep in the same bed as all these other people. Trying the hard save, can't stop laughing in the hot mess. Tantrum, berserk, flash storm. Stop tempting me. The Man in Black villain. It's Waylands. Cool picture of the base. Again, kind of a long base. Everyone was pretty centrally located, and I think part of it was that that map didn't have a lot of good geothermals, and the one good one was kind of that central area. Where can you find the save files? You could paste. So that information is in here. I'll show you where it's at actually. Let's see. Here we go. So in the files area, it tells right here for anyone that doesn't know. So open your RimWorld, then you're going to click on options, and then you click save data folder, and you just click open, and it opens it, and that's where you're going to put the unzipped files. So options, open save data folder, and it'll take you right there. And the instructions are in the FAQ in the files section. Yeah, no problem. How am I doing? I'm still not 100%. Not 100%. But hopefully we can survive today's stream. Finished the last hour of yours, got 30K and are pretty pleased. Think the one thing you could have done better was get a bunch of animals in addition to the flake. So they went flake as well. Pretty happy with 180K. 180K. Flake. That's interesting that they did the crops that way. I'm guessing they didn't want big blights taking out this their cash crops. Having light all over the place is also really good. Should have done drugs. Biggest dog you ever had. Plague, flu, repeat. Thank you, rabbit hamsters. Thank you. Let's see. Off to a great start. Rock was smashing scissors. That's what happened to mine. It's so odd to me that so many people had rock hooking up with paper. Like it was almost instant that rock and scissors were a thing. I think before I could even make, like, I think I was making the single beds and they already needed a double bed, like right as I finished them. Captured a decent number of pirates. We're working our way to 100,000 with 60 minutes left. A defoliator ship landed. Decided to ignore it. 20 minutes left. Pirate breach. Raid attacked. Being more of an adventure story person, did not fully appreciate the power of the triple rocket launcher. Ouch. Left paper out of the draft completely on purpose. She was able to save Scissors and Ram once the pirates fled. Those two were pretty upset, having just been rocket launched. So Scissors started killing all the animals, and Ram started attacking the Labrador Retriever. As soon as they calmed down, Paper got the flu, and a dozen angry monkeys attacked. Hit pause at 10 hours 1 second. Did not look back. Man, what a chain of events. Explosive final hour continues. Kept everyone alive, even the dog. 156K wealth. Adida. Advanced fabrication and managed to get underground steel in the walls. Oh, God. So, again, lucky you, RNG. So during my first attempt, when I was doing open, I actually had like 6 scanners going, and I never scanned steel inside the walls. It was just such a waste of resources, of time, of not producing wealth. And so the next one, I was like, I'm only going to make one of these, and we'll see if we get lucky. Still, never got it to spawn where we could get it. And so I was like, you know what? I'm not making any more scanners in these challenges. It's just freaking worthless. So them getting it to scan right under or inside their walls right off the bat is kind of frustrating. Ran out of time to do anything after that. They went with heavy SMGs, built a kill box. Too big, and everybody got shot by the mechs. Oof. Yeah, with heavy SMGs, I like making the kill box 18 tiles long. That's my preference with heavy SMGs. So if you're going to use those in this, you might want to think about around that distance. No deaths though, but a few missing parts. Rock married Scissors and got addicted to wake up any longer, and he will die. Ran out with 30 minutes to go. Lucky with only 1 siege. Didn't open the western danger. That was the brutal one, centipede one. Burn Tunnel was a failed experiment. Realizing this play, you play far more casually and everyone you watch. That's fine. Yeah, it's one of the things I like about the game is that there's, well, about games, no wrong way to play, right? You hear me say it all the time. Bunny back again, completed nothing of importance except keeping all colonists alive. Except the dog again. Man, he had a tough time with the dog. Spent most of the time, a lot of people did, it seems, micromanaging fires and raids and illnesses and infections. Harder than your strive to survive games usually play. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. You laughed a lot? That's awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing all that. Full 10 hours. Nice. actually see this set up quite a bit too. The like tunnel sections seems to work pretty well. Colony approaches 6 hours, 62,000 wealth. The hopes of bringing an old friend from Pete completes ice sheets. I know it's a really popular series. I've never watched it. Cambiar. You made it. Awesome. Colony wiped out at marked time. Had a badly timed pirate attack, but Man in Black appeared. Held on for a bit and attempted to sack a caravan by activating an animal pulser. He had a sad wander and went outside. Wow. It's rough. Animal pulser's not doing anyone any favors so far in this. There's the German ones. And it looks like we're coming close to the end here. Take 2 was a significant step up for Dom. 35k. Take 1. Certainly don't have time for a third try. Quite happy with a 215,000. 2 art tables pumping out constantly. So a lot of their wealth from art. Most of their wealth from art. Look at that. A little bit of drugs, not a crazy amount. A little bit of food, not a crazy amount. And such a small footprint of base for so much wealth off of predominantly art. Yeah, I really like all the stories and how much they differ. Here's Smurf's final run where he took the advice of the shock lance. So someone was like, oh, I can get more colonists with shock lances. So Smurf was like, I'm gonna go get as many shock lances as possible and get as many colonists as possible. I think if you're really wanting to push wealth, colonists are the biggest and best way. The more colonists you can get, the higher you can get. So someone forgot to build a key wall and got a bunch of people killed. Base partially burned down. Got ugly. Pirates also dropped on head once. That got ugly too. Shock lance idea carried the day to new heights. Wealth that defends itself. Better go home. Last hour. Such a living chaos. Yeah, it's really crazy when you turn that switch at the end of like, all right, I have 15 minutes left. Nothing else matters. And so I was like betraying caravans and slaughtering all of our animals and just doing anything at all. It's like, do all of the things. It was a mess. I put everyone on 24/7 work right at the end. So it was literally everyone was on work. So everyone was breaking down. Love the shock lances. They're good. Yeah. I usually don't need them in the type of runs I do, but we'll probably be using them in the community challenge for sure. Is that gonna load? I like how crammed that is. Oof. That's a bad situation. Remind them as well. See colonists possible run at some point, not just accept everyone, but actually trying to get as many. The one time I kind of did that was during the Fluid Ideology run on YouTube, and the game started really like chugging at like around 70 colonists, where it was getting to the point where it felt almost unplayable to me. Might try it again sometime now that the game's a little bit more optimized and I have the better computer and stuff. Wayland's run never really got going. Rock smash scissors for the entirety of the run. Paper was a complete jerk. Didn't go along with the constructor. Tyke punched Tyke in the face and destroyed his nose. Hated him more than when he was disfigured. Wow. Constantly fighting each other. So imagine this person hates someone so much that they break their nose. They hate them partially because they think they're ugly. So they break their nose and they're like, oh God, now you're even uglier. And they hate them even more. It's brutal. My trader had a breakdown, ran out of food, and died before he could get another pawn out to save her. Had a shock lance, and assault rifle, and silver from your first flake run. Never recovered from there. First lancer to enter the kill box. One shot the researcher and artist. Wow. Right in the spine. That sucks. No decent weapon at any time during the run other than the lost assault rifle. Lost on a caravan. Ouch. Oof. Oh God, that reminds me, I had a run where early on we got our first centipede. It was a raid with literally only a centipede. And I was like, well, that's not a big deal. We'll be fine. The centipede comes around the corner into the little kill box and it starts to fire. And the very first bullet of the spread destroys a colonist's brain just instantly. It always feels terrible when something like that happens. It's like brutal. Really slow start. A few untimely deaths, toxic fallouts. 95k. All right, that is it. So over 50 results. So again, thank you guys for participating in the March one. It's really fun. It's really fun going through and reading. I don't know how popular it is listening to me go through and read them. We will switch over and play RimWorld now, but it was really fun to experience this as it went. So if you, I implore you to try it out, to participate. It's 10 hours over the course of a month. So if you can spend 10 hours on RimWorld over the course of April, then you can participate in this, whether you are new, whether you have 5,000 hours or anywhere in between, whether you play on peaceful, whether you play on 500% or anywhere in between, you can participate in this. You can play it. Now, if you don't want to, or you don't have the time to, I would still love it if you join in and see the stuff as it comes in, you know, comment on the stories, check out the clips and the videos and the screenshots and all that. Again, to do that, join the Discord. And then in role requests, you're going to click on this Randy icon. So when you join the Discord, you're only going to have a few channels available. The role request channel will allow you to react down here and choose which channels you have access to. There is a RimWorld channel for general RimWorld stuff, but the stuff for this exact monthly challenge is the Randy random icon. Don't have to be a sub or anything like that. Just join the Discord, role requests, and click on the channels that you want access to. Making sure you do the community challenge one, and that will open up the community challenge stuff. There are the rules, the save files, FAQs. If you have any other questions, just ping me or Smurf and ask. And then it opens up the RimWorld challenge chat. People have already started for April. I'm going to do a run for April tomorrow. I am blind to the map, so I haven't even looked at other people's results yet. So, jump back down to present here. But yeah. Oh no. Blind. Yeah, participate. I hope we get at least the same amount of people. You know, more than 50 would be awesome. I think that was really good. Now, really quickly before I end this, I'm also going to upload this to YouTube. But right before I end this, I want to mention that the save file is a lot different this time. So there's a different starting scenario, and that information is in here as well. We also are looking for cool bases. Where did we end up putting the? Here it is, the save info. So this is like a no DLC Neanderthal scenario this time. You no longer have to worry about the annoyance of the jungle, so hooray, less disease, hopefully. But your people actually learn much slower. They research much slower. You don't have to worry about volcanic winters or mass animal insanity or eclipses. You start with beer research, and you start with a club. Now, another thing is that there are mostly hostile tribes. So most of your humanoid raids are going to be tribal this time. There are no pirates. There's one rough civil outlander. And also no civil outlanders to trade with. So remember when I was like, yeah, on these next ones, we need to go out and trade for more shock lances. Well, you can't. Not this month. So again, it's about surviving for the 10 hours, trying to get as much wealth as you can, pushing yourself a little bit. But in addition to that, we want to see some cool bases that I'm able to load up on one of these recap streams. So I'll go through and load up a bunch of these. So that is in here as well. So cool bases, pretty bases. If you don't want to worry about trying to push wealth or whatnot, use the same save file and try to make some awesome stuff. It needs to be with no mods though, so I'm able to load it. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for hanging out for this. Thank you for participating in the March one. Hopefully I see a ton of you in the April one. I'll post this on YouTube as well. So if you missed any of this, you can watch it later. I should have it uploaded tonight, so it should be live before tomorrow morning. Yeah, it was really cool. So thank you guys for participating. We want to do this every month, and as long as we have people participating, we will do these every month. And it won't always be just wealth and a new map. We'll get some other cool ideas too. And if you have suggested ideas, you can also post them in the challenge chat. You know, this is for anything revolving around
you will join us
around the challenge and the scenarios. So alrighty, let me end that recording. I'll upload that, and then we'll play some RimWorld for real.